Hey, it's Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo. Today's video is my next part of my 8-day cruise on the Carnival Sunshine, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is actually one of my most favorite ports of call. It's a beautiful island. It's mountainous. Went there for the first time last year with my mom. And when we came in, it was around noon, and I actually knew it was pretty mountainous, but my mom did not. So she was kind of surprised, very pleasantly surprised. But this time we came in a little earlier, and then we left earlier, so we got to see us leave. Last time we were there, it poured down rain, and in the middle of Puerto Rico, my shoe broke. So I actually had to go find a place to buy some new shoes. And I did a video on that because I didn't like walking around barefooted. My shoe was so broken that I had one shoe on and one shoe off. But anyway, this time we had perfect weather. It was beautiful. And I had a list for my shopping experience. Didn't get everything on the list, and why did I not get everything on the list? Like I said before, we arrived in Puerto Rico about 7:30 in the morning. Shops do not open till about 9. Some don't open till 10. Others, I don't know when they open because we had to be back on the boat by 1:30 because we were leaving at 2. And we actually got back on the boat around noon. So I don't know if they just weren't open that day or what the deal was. And most of the shops that I really wanted to go to were more the local vendor type. Those were not open. Did find a few open though. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we got and what we did. Again, we did not do an excursion. My husband, he went to one of the forts. It's within walking distance. I think he said it costs like $5 because it's like a national park or whatever. And he said it was really nice. I didn't realize he was going to go to the fort because we probably would have gone with him. My husband's funny. He's a very quiet man. And sometimes that communication isn't quite there, but that's okay. He came back, and you know what? Next time we go to Puerto Rico, I'll be going to the fort. Our son, he got off the ship and got right back on. Again, probably just to say that he's been to Puerto Rico. There was a ton of shopping in Puerto Rico. And again, in our fun times, we were able to get a map. And it was blocks and blocks and blocks of walking, very narrow streets. I will post some pictures of some of the streets. They're actually very beautiful. Blue cobblestone. It's a very old world, and I enjoyed it. So let me first tell you about our freebies that we got. I only got one freebie, and I can't find it. It was a little frog pendant. Last year when we were there, we got these anchor pendants, and we got a whole mess of them because they had advertised they were frogs, and I was a little disappointed, and so they gave me like 5 of these, which I thought was kind of funny. This time when we went, the frogs were there. But he must have hopped away because I can't find him. I'm sure he's around here somewhere though. I've actually got my craft room pulled apart, and so a lot of my stuff like that is who knows where. So as soon as I get the wallpaper down in my craft room and I get things put back together, I'm sure it'll show back up. So the things that I bought. One of the things that was on my list was a ceramic gecko or wood gecko if I couldn't find a ceramic. I actually have a ceramic sun and moon that I got in Colorado that I absolutely love, and I kind of wanted to match them. And I found all kinds last year, but I wasn't really in the market for it. I wasn't prepared to buy one. So this time, it was what was on my list. But of course, like I said, the shops that carried those type things were closed. So I did not get a ceramic one. But I did go into a shop and I found this one. It doesn't really match my sun and moon too well, but it's okay. I like it. It is wood. Oops. When we went through customs, I probably should have said that I did have something wood. But to be honest with you, I actually forgot about it. Besides, Would they've taken it away? That's something I'm going to have to investigate. In the past, when we've brought wood through, they haven't asked about it. But I do know one time my daughter brought a drum through. It was a pretty big drum. It was varnished and everything, and they almost took it away from her. So not sure what's going on with customs and wood, but I may have to look into that because I don't want to buy something and then they take it away. Okay, so what else did I buy? Well, I have a granddaughter that has ginormous blue eyes. And when I saw this little dress, I could not pass it up. Fix this. So I bought her this little dress. It's actually made in Guatemala, but to me it looked kind of Puerto Rican, and she'll have fun wearing it. What else? Oh, as I have mentioned in my other videos, I do like to collect Christmas ornaments from the different areas I go to. Preferably ones that were locally made. And I found this one. Isn't it pretty? It shows a fort. It has the sun and a boat, birds. Perfect for me. The ocean. And this actually was made by a local artisan, and it has a little blurb about the area and all. And so I'm very pleased with this. I will probably date the back, but on the front it does say Puerto Rico on it. Okay, what else? I found these really cool coasters. They weren't that expensive. They kind of show the area a little bit, just drawings. I'll show you through them. I actually have some pictures like this. I'll probably post on the end of this. Whoops. I am not going to use these for coasters because I don't want to get them messed up. I have a long skinny wall that I am going to put them on. So I'm excited about that. I love the colors and the feel of them. In that same shop, excuse me, I'm sorry. In the same shop, we had a bunch of stuff that was in there. And I found something that my husband actually had been looking for quite some time. We bought a new house a few months ago, and we've been looking for some really pretty, bright numbers. And so I was able to find these tiles. They're ceramic tiles with our number on it. I have been looking, I've seen them online, and they're pretty expensive. These were very affordable. So I got those. And funny stories. So my mom and I go into this store, and it was like, had a lot of art and stuff in it. My mom at first was like, oh, why are we going in there? I said, oh, let's just go and look. And of course, most of the stuff was pretty expensive, and I wasn't going to buy anything. Plus the fact I didn't even know how I was going to carry it on the boat and then carry it back off the boat and carry it home. And so I wasn't really planning on buying anything. Then I saw this display of these small pieces. They're like about 8 by 10s, and they were $1.99, and they were done by a local artisan. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy one. So I got it. And she puts it in this piece of flyer and puts it in a bag, plastic bag, and I was on my way. And I thought, great, I'm probably going to get it really bent up bad. But I didn't. Fortunately, we only had like 1 or 2 more stops before we went to the ship. So as soon as I got back on board, went to our stateroom, and I put it in my journal for protection. And when I got home to my house in Louisiana, when I opened up my journal to get it, it was gone. I thought, great, where did it go? And I looked all over for that for several days. Finally, I just pretty much gave up on it. Well, I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and I was going through some mail, and I came across this flyer. It's a Macy's ad, but it's in Spanish. And I thought, why would I get a Spanish Macy's ad? Because it was right there with the mail, so I was kind of puzzled. I turned it over and I looked, and then I opened it up, and look what I found. I was happy. My $1.99 picture. I will be framing this. It did get a little bent, but not too bad. Once I get it framed, you won't be able to notice it. But that is Puerto Rico. I have some pictures very similar to that I took, but there's cars all up and down. So I really like this, and I was really happy that I was able to find it. Okay, something else, a couple of things we got. Went to Del Sol. For those of you who don't know what Del Sol is, they have color changing shirts. This is not a Del Sol shirt, but they look similar to this. But then when you get out in the sun, they get really bright. And I got my free ring, so I did get another freebie. This changes to a real bright, bright purple. I also got these little clippy things that I put in my hair. And last cruise that I was on with my sister, I used these a lot in my hair when we're out at the beach or at the pool, and she loved them, and she's like, oh, where did you get those? And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to get her some. And then I thought, well, I'll get my daughter-in-law some, and I'll get my daughter some. All of them have lots of hair, and they were really hard to find. They turn colors. This one, see, one will turn fuchsia, one will turn yellow, one will turn purple, and one's going to turn red. But when I bought them, I found one. And I was like, uh-oh, I need to have more than just one. And so each port of call, I was looking for them, and Del Sol did not have them. Finally, in Puerto Rico, I found the last one. So I'm glad I got them. But then, when I got home, my daughter, who's actually been known as the girl with the long hair, is now known as the girl with the short hair. For the 7th time, she chopped her hair off and donated. But this time, she should have got it really short. I'll have to say, though, it looks pretty good. I'm not that gutsy. My hair wouldn't do what hers does in a million years. Okay, one other thing I got before I go on to what are some of the other things that we did. Let's see. Okay. We were walking down the road, and there was a bead shop. Now, I thought this was going to be a bead shop of things that were already made, but they were actually bead shops for people like me who make jewelry. And I about went bananas. I didn't have that much money to spend, which is fortunate. So I'll show you the few beads that I got. I got this, which I don't know what it is. It's not rose quartz. It's probably a crystal chips that were dyed, but I like the color. As my sister said, they kind of look like a ballet shoe pink. I got these beautiful beads. Now, my mom also got some beads like this, and before I left, I made her a necklace out of them. And I put these beads with them. And boy, was it pretty. Can't really tell how sparkly they are on the video, but got those. And then I got these beads. These are also real crystally. Again, they're really not showing up the true color. They're kind of a green, like the dark is a forest green, and the light is more of a minty green, and it's really, really pretty. And then I got these fish, and you're not going to believe what I just found. I'm excited. I found my frog. It was in with my beads. Here's the frog I was talking about. See, I knew it would show up. I guess I have an idea that maybe I'm going to use that on these. My granddaughter's name is Crystal Jewel. I call her Jewel. But I'm going to start collecting little crystals for her. And so this is a crystal that I bought for little Jewel. We call her Jewel. And not for sure what I'm going to make with it, but I will make something with it. And let's see, one other thing I got there. This is beautiful. It's not going to show up, I know, on camera, the true color. It reminds me of a stone that they have in the Caribbean called the Larimar. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm going to pretend it is because that's what it looks like. And I think that's all of what I bought. Now to tell you what we did. Once we finished with our shopping in Puerto Rico, we got back on the ship. And like I said, it was noon, and I was pretty hungry. We had eaten earlier before we got off, And I only had one egg Benedict. I try not to overeat on these ships because I don't want to gain a lot of weight. And I have yet to gain weight on a cruise. But that will be another video. I'll have to tell you how I did that. But I was really hungry. So I went to Guy's Burgers, and boy, was that good. They grill the burgers right there, and then they have like a bar where they have all different toppings. And I had like bacon bits and mushrooms and different kinds of like green onions were on there, all kinds of vegetables. They have all kinds of toppings. I think I had a chipotle mayonnaise on there, and it was really, really good. And then after we did that, we went up on deck and we watched us leave Puerto Rico. And that was really a lot of fun. One thing I was able to do too in Puerto Rico is I got to call my kids. Because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, you can use your cell phones and not be charged, more than like you would in the States. It's actually the same price. So that was fun to call them and let them know what we were doing. My only complaint with this day is that we were not in Puerto Rico long enough. That kind of made me sad. Let me think. What did we do? So dinner time, we just went to dinner, had a leisurely dinner. And then afterwards, we didn't go to the show. It was Soul Train was the name of the show. I had seen that many, many times, and I really didn't want to go through see it again. It's a good show if you hadn't seen it, but once you've seen some of these shows, you've seen them. Movie, Furious 7, not into Furious 7. Avengers, Age of Union, not really into Avengers. So we didn't do the movie Under the Stars. We just kind of walked around, and I think we played putt-putt and just little stuff like that. And we retired to our stateroom early. Got all ready for bed, crawled into bed. My mom did too. It was my mom and my husband and I were in there, and we were kind of flipping around on the TV, and my son comes walking in, and it was early. I mean, it was only like probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we're like, oh, okay, well, he got ready, crawled into bed, and so we started, like I said, going around the channels, and they have movies on there, and the movie that we actually came across was Failure to Launch. We'd seen it before, but we watched it again. And actually, that was really a nice thing. We just relaxed, chilled out, enjoyed each other's company, had some fun laughs, and we were able to go to bed early, sleep early. Earlier than, most people on cruise. Okay, what else? I think that's pretty much it. One thing I did fail to mention, some other things I bought. I have these earrings. Normally I don't buy stuff like this, but these were really pretty. Abalone and mother of pearl earrings. And then I bought this little shoe. Kind of looks like an American flag or Puerto Rican flag. It's got the same colors, stars and stripes and all. And when my mom and I were going back on the ship, right before we got into the area where we had to go through, to claim we're American citizens, they had a bunch of vendors, and most of them were selling things that they had made. And there was a young man there, I would say he was in his early 20s, and he was selling these. He was an American, and he was very, very young looking. He had to be in his early 20s, but if I'd seen him on the street, I would have probably guessed him to be about 14 or 15, but I don't think he was that young. But he explained how he made these. What's inside is a little disc that he paints, and then he puts it in this container here, and it magnifies it. It's like a magnifying glass. And I thought that was really pretty. When I first got it, I thought, it comes on this little rope here, and I thought, well, I'll put it on something, but I think I may keep it on that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, that was our day in Puerto Rico. Love Puerto Rico. Hope to be able to return there someday. Next time I'll probably go to at least one of the forts there, probably the one you can walk to. But anyway, this is the end of my video. Hope you enjoy it. Next time we will be in Grand Turk. which is another one of my favorite favorite places to be. Anyway, bye!
Just left San Juan, Puerto Rico, and we're headed to Grand Turk.